Are we on? We are on. Wow, that's so strange. It's showing that nobody is participating, but your comments are flowing. Morning, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't check in a little earlier. I usually check in about like a half hour before or something like that. Good morning. Hoping everybody had a fantastic weekend. And like I said, I hope we're getting okay with this rhythm. Okay, so a little housekeeping before I go into a riff here. So you guys see that all right over there? I opened up last week. Wow, a week ago today, and I asked, how do I design this space with the New York Yankees flag that I have? Because since I was like zero, I bleed pinstripes, and that's Smerconish thingamajigger that I won on this console, right? I don't know. How do I do it in a way that is like genuine and true to me, as well as homage to Michael? I don't know. Let me know in the comments because I didn't get I didn't get a transcript of last week's comments. I have to go back for them, and I don't think there were any responses there. So, without further ado, I was hoping you guys also enjoyed the video, the pre-recorded video. I see. I have a thing about reading from a script. It's just not myself. I enjoy myself a lot more free flow. So I'm thinking that I'll do just more free flowy kind of things and not read from a script. Just a sort of experimentation from my experience in just producing content. I think I'm a lot more genuine and relatable, and in fact, even entertaining if I do it on my own. Like just from myself. Uh, without further ado, let's get into the headlines. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're going there. Let me share the screen. Or let me make this bigger for those of you watching on mobile. Bam, here we go. I'll change that layout to the one that I like. And let's rock and roll. Whoops. Let's try that one. All right. Wild Carican. Yo, guys, I think I posted last night while this game was going on. I'm totally disconnected from football. I'm a huge baseball guy. But I think I have to get into football just because I'm an American, and it seems like, for lack of a better word, shit's getting real. So I got to get into I got to get into the football just to have my finger on the pulse. Um, wow. But the Eagles are eliminated. Wow. Okay. Uh, all right. Golden Globes. Sorry, not interested in that. Trump is briefed on Iran options. Little interested in that, and you guys should know. I I have a clear opinion on what's going on there. I thought last week I said on this stream that Iran was clearly and indisputably in a better position under the Shah than they are under this Khomeini guy, and I don't know why, besides for posturing, why Trump would entertain intervention. I can think of a couple of scenarios that play out in the Middle East. So, as you may or may not know, and I should do just like a general Q&A on this. A Q&A on like who I am and my background and my life, and I don't know, that could be something. But my family is we're I'm first generation American, and my family's been in the Middle East for over 500 years since the Spanish Inquisition. So the reason why I bring that up is because in the Middle East, the primary way of rulers are dictatorships, dictatorships that are centered around a scapegoat centered around a common enemy. That's how dictators stay in power, really, throughout my family's life. And if the regime in Iran topples, what would the scapegoat be for all the dictatorships in the Middle East? Will the dictatorships point to the West, America, Israel? Would Israel be the scapegoat? I mean, they would all theoretically be friendly countries towards Israel, wouldn't they be? Would Saudi Arabia, this is something my dad was telling me, would Saudi Arabia have any interest in allying with Israel at that point? Oman, Qatar? Why align with Israel at that point instead of with China or Russia? China and Russia are losing all their interest in the Middle East. So I don't know what the big play is, but I am sure that the increased pressure on Venezuela, Cuba, and now Iran are all arm twists in the Russia Ukraine negotiation. And while they are arm twists towards Putin, there's got to be a bigger game at play in shifting up the entire Middle East order. There has to be. That's my play on it. But we all don't want Iraq 2.0. We don't want Afghanistan. And he's treading a fine line. But he can, because he's a lame duck president. And what he may have to worry about, but probably doesn't worry about, is how it would affect 2028. Vance is going to have to defend himself. Josh Hawley is positioning himself for a presidential run. And what I'm hearing is Hawley will be taking the position of America first. Vance is going to have to defend his record against bringing in U.S. aid to Israel. Vance may have to defend intervention in Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran. Let's see how that plays out. Powell is under DOJ scrutiny. If there is a smidge of political prosecution here, this Trump guy is a complete idiot, because Powell has under a year left, I believe. This is just not the time to do it. If he seriously did something wrong, neutrally and objectively, then sure, our justice system at work. But if this is a smidge like Comey, James, the legitimacy of our Justice Department is already so damaged. I mean, I wouldn't be happy as an American, I'll tell you that much. The trans debate finally reaches SCOTUS. Well, let me start up with the poll question. My apologies on that. Should transgender women and girls be allowed to compete on women's sports teams at public schools? No, I believe I said this on a live stream. Men and women are different mentally and physically. No. Trans debate reaches SCOTUS. What is the actual case? SCOTUS is set to hear a high-profile case challenging states' ban on transgender girls. How would that violate Title IX? Okay, the 14th Amendment is equality for all. Title IX, not quite sure. But anyways, this Supreme Court, I don't even know why they bothered giving the writ of certiorari if the court's made up as is. DHS posted another Minnesota video. I will mention, Jake Tapper had Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, yesterday on for an interview, and it was illuminating to see how the secretary pitched her whole position on how the driver was a domestic terrorist and that she was privy to video that was not released to the public that allows her to make that decision. I mean, Madam Secretary, not a domestic terrorist. I mean, If you believe so, release the video. But a domestic terrorist, bridge too far there. When you go on a bridge too far, you sacrifice your own legitimacy, you know? Trump's return on judicial appointments. I remember his first term. Him and McConnell really got into those appointments aggressively. Biden also had a lot of appointments on his own. So the New York Times analysis find that appellate judges appointed by Trump have voted overwhelmingly to uphold the second term agenda. So I'll tell you, about 10 years ago, when I was in college, I took a course called The American Judiciary. And the entire semester, actually, it was right around, it was exactly when Obama appointed Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court and the Republicans did not grant a hearing. And the entire term was around the Senate's confirmation powers and judicial independence. It's really jaw-dropping to see how that theme developed since 2016. It was and I guess this is the result of it. This is the result of it. I if you guys would like, actually, I can include a link to that paper, that because that was published. That link to the paper on judicial independence and the American judiciary was published academically. I could send you that work. Army chiefs draw Greenland plan. I'm not opposed to getting Greenland, but I'm still unsure as to why. Is it positioning? Because I'm hearing less and less of its resources. But military positioning? If so, I mean, I'm a big believer that America's supposed to be the #1 military superpower in the world, but I don't get the obsession. I really don't. We already have the bases there. Yeah. So Trump is meeting with Danish counterparts. All right, let him. This I saw yesterday. This really hit home for me. Arson attack hits the Jackson synagogue. So Torah scrolls, the Bible scrolls, are actually burnt in that one. And I also learned that the KKK, I believe in the 60s, hit that synagogue. Suspect was arrested, and since October 7th, I've been thinking and got into some heated arguments with family members. Is it better or worse that anti-Semitism is being shown outwardly nowadays? I'm a believer that anti-Semitism always existed. The anti-Semitism that we're seeing now always existed and harbored in people's hearts. But now that it's being so shown in the open, is that good or bad? Instead of people harboring it and holding it and not being too proud about it. I was on with Michael as a guest, and I told him, he asked me this question, and I said, no, this is just new. They're just, these anti-Semites were emboldened by their media silos and extremism. I mean, Thursday last week, there was a rally in Queens, New York. Say it loud, say it clear. We support Hamas here. Mayor Mamdani came out and condemned the chant, surprisingly, and AOC did. If you go on X and you see the vitriol that the left gave them for condemning Hamas, which by the way, I mean, it's like not like they deserve a trophy for condemning a designated terrorist organization. I can't believe the extreme left want to pull AOC and Mamdani further left. I mean, the guy won't denounce globalizing the Intifada, but you're gonna criticize him for denouncing we support Hamas here. It's scary how much more to the left these radicals want to pull the politicians that are already their icons. Last but not least, ground news. Youngkin backs Vance. Well, it's curious to see where Youngkin is going to go from here, given that his gubernatorial term of Virginia is coming to an end. Might have even ended. And he has to have a plan. Maybe he's going to go into the private sector for a bit, but I don't think he's done. And wow, what a name. Champagne. And that's that. And that's that. Guys, I'm going to put a call-in link. I'm going to put a call-in link so that you guys can call in and engage if you would like. Let me add that into the chat now so that you guys, whoever would like, if anyone would like, you can participate. If there's anything I said that was divisive, then I did a good job. Let's have that roll. Alrighty. Link is in the chat. Just make sure you call in and we'll go from there. I just got rid of my face, didn't I? Let me stop sharing this. Heyo. Okay. So let me go back to some comments here. I see my name. I was called out. Oh, Nancy. Do you think I did? Nancy, come on. Come on, call in. You get to the front of the line and I'll tell you exactly what happened. All right. While I do that, I'm going to get to you guys. See, a couple of you guys are on the Riverside part of things. If you'd like to call in, please do. You see, Victor, I already had my coffee. I did not bring it down this time. My wife is getting used to the streaming time, so we're having family breakfast, just a little earlier on streaming days. Well, you see, Nancy, on this comment, TC is against you here. TC is against you here, and if you ask me, it depends who they put up on the Democratic side. Is it Newsom or is it Shapiro? Klobuchar. Let's see what she does. Fabrizio, hello. Good morning. Fabrizio, I could roll my R's, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me, thoughts, anything. Fabrizio, you hear me?
Yeah, but I just woke up.
Oh, right. I'm responding here to Nancy. The Kamala side. There's no way. I mean, I'm with the intelligentsia there. If they put up Kamala, they hand the election over willingly. I mean, I don't know why they'd abdicate that much. My God. What else? Oh, you want to know why so many Jews supported Mamdani, Nancy? The Jews that supported Mamdani are anti-Israel. And the Jews that supported Mamdani, in my opinion, don't even hold the same values as what you'd think of as being Jew. A lot of them are reform. A lot of them don't believe in the same core tenets of Judaism. Yeah, I mean, for God's sake, I met these people, and they thought every week, for example, there's a segment of the Bible that we read in synagogue every Saturday. They wouldn't know the segment of the Bible. I mean, that's something that's ingrained in every observant Jew. I mean, are they part of the Orthodoxy? They're not, and you don't have to be part of Orthodoxy to be a Jew. But come on, that's It's not. It's not. Number one, it's not majority of the Jews. It's a fringe of the Jews. That's the short answer. Desert Sunset. Whenever I respond to a comment, I hope. Oh, whoops. I think that was the one I was responding to. But yes, I tried to put the comment on the screen and then respond to it. Let me know if that does or doesn't work. So, like right now, I have Nancy's comment on the bottom left. Perhaps those Jews were brainwashed by the left. Do not discount. Do not discount the effect of college campuses and those who came out and voted in this mayoral election. Because right now is the product of, like, when I went to college, it was transitioning to radical leftism, and now that age is really waking up and they're mobilized, very very heavily mobilized. Uh, who's the stronger and charismatic candidate? On which side? Which side are you talking about? There definitely is a delay. There is a delay, and that's because the comment has to come through, and then the video stream has to delay and really respond. I definitely differentiate between Israeli regime and the populace for sure. Um, I, me myself, I'm not Israeli. I love my country, America, but the populace doesn't support Netanyahu. You have to understand, the populace barely ever did support him because of the coalition system they have there. He never made it above, I believe, 30% approval. And because of the coalition system they have there, 30% of Israel is being governed by this leader. Uh, and they never really gave him their support to begin with. So that's something to keep in mind on their system of governance. Something else is The Economist had a 40-minute sit-down interview with Netanyahu, and I watched it in full yesterday. They pressed him, justifiably so, on why don't you let more journalists into Gaza? And you're clearly losing favorability because of Israel's behavior in the international opinion. I mean, if you go to, this is a quote, if you go into certain countries, you'll be arrested. You should, it's something to watch Netanyahu respond to that. And as far as the way he's governing, I've been against it since 2014ish, when I became really cognizant of what's going on there at 18 years old. And Nancy, I would say in response to your comment, are they self-hating Jews that voted for Mamdani? I'd say a lot of them were self-hating, but I'd say the rest of them were ignorant. Were ignorant of what globalizing the Intifada means, ignorant of globalize the Intifada and its fruition in Australia, and the effect that words can have on people taking action, like in Jackson, Mississippi, and like in Bondi Beach. I will say, Suen, I'll include that. I'll include that interview. If you're a paid subscriber, you can see the full thing. I don't know if they released it in full to unpaid subscribers, but I actually have a subscription. It's running out in a couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm going to renew, but I love The Economist. And I'll take a couple more comments and then we'll close out for the day. Yeah, protest for Netanyahu before he messed with the court. I was about to actually be featured on a panel regarding the court reforms, which I believe he pushed through anyways, even during the fact that it was a wartime. I was not in favor of it. I'm a big fan of Alan Dershowitz, both legally and politically. I think he's also stuck in the middle with the rest of us. Polarizing guy, I get it. But Dershowitz's analysis of the court reforms was spot on. And I don't think that in a coalition government you should have that much control over who gets appointed in the court system. And judicial review is a big part of maintaining Israel's integrity and democracy. Okay, guys, be well. Thank you for joining Falcon Steph. And if anything comes up, email me and I will see you here Wednesday. Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe and be a part of the newsletter below. You'll get email notifications, and see you next time. Have a good day, everybody.